Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel English Literature 101. The topic for today is a story titled The Making of a Scientist, prescribed in cbse for class 10 in the book named Footprints. The Making of a Scientist. This is a real life story written by Robert W. Peterson. This story is about a curious child named Richard E. Bright and his journey towards becoming a great scientist. This story showcases the fact that how perseverance, dedication, hard work, competitive spirit, along with the constant effort of parents can make someone achieve his or her goal. Richard Ebright, at the age of 22, along with his roommate, explained the theory of cells, that is, how cells work, which was published in a reputed and well-renowned magazine of National Academy of Science. So it was one of the achievements of Richard, and as time passes, we will see that his achievements keeps on increasing. Richard says that all his love towards cells started with his curiosity for butterflies. Now, as we proceed with this story, we will get to know about his childhood. Richard was the only child of his parents and he grew up in Pennsylvania. And as he had no friends to play football or baseball, he spent most of his time collecting various things. He began collecting butterflies, rocks, fossils, coins from the time when he was in kindergarten. He also used to keep staring at the stars, and sometimes he even kept himself engaged in studying astronomy. So he always had been curious to learn new things, and he had a sharp mind. His mother also used to encourage him to learn. She used to take him on learning trips, brought him telescope and other instruments that helped him learn new things. So we can say that his mother was his best friend until he went to school. Even after Richard went to school, his mother used to call his friends home. Both Richard and his mother used to stay together and learn things together. So we can say that his relationship with his mother was very close. He was called Richie by his mother. Richie lost his father when he was in third grade, and then on he shares a close bond with his mother. Richie loved the learning tasks given by his mother, and he always was excited to learn new things. He was a bright student and scored good marks in class. And by the time he was in second class, he had collected 25 species of butterflies that were found in his neighborhood. Then one day, his mother got him a children's book. The name of the book was The Travels of Monarch X. This book was about how the monarch butterflies migrated to Central America. And this book, or we can say this was the turning point in Richard's life, as after reading this book, his curiosity turned towards science. At the end of this book, named Travels of Monarch X, the readers of the book were invited to help in the study of butterfly migration. They were asked to tag butterflies by a doctor named Frederick A. Urquhart of the University of Toronto, Canada. Richie's mother wrote to the doctor, and soon Richie started attaching tags to the wings of the butterflies to send it to the doctor. One day, Richard thought that if he kept on collecting butterflies one by one, he would not be able to collect many. So he decided to raise a flock of butterflies in his basement. He caught female butterflies, collected its eggs, and raised them in his basement through proper life cycles. Then he used to tag the wings of the butterflies and let them go. So there were thousands of monarchs in his basement, growing in different life stages. Then what happened was that he suddenly lost interest in tagging butterflies as it was a very slow and tiring process. He said out of many butterflies, hardly 2 or 3 butterflies could be recaptured by people, and those two were not more than 75 miles away from where he lived. So he started losing interest in the process. When Richard was in grade 7, he participated at a country science fair. He showed frog tissue slides under a microscope, whereas others did experiment. Richard felt sad as he could not win anything, whereas other people won something. So it was then he came to know what real science was all about. From then on, he started developing competitive spirit inside him, and he decided to make a real project for next year's science fair. Now, as he was thinking for the next year's science fair, he thought that he had maximum knowledge about the subject of insects, as he had been studying them for quite some time. So he quickly wrote to the doctor for ideas, and the doctor in turn sent back a lot of ideas for his next year's science project. So he remained busy with those ideas all throughout his high school and won many prizes. When he was in 8th grade, he tried to find the cause of a viral disease that killed nearly all monarch caterpillars every few years. So Richard thought that the disease was being transmitted through beetles. So he started raising caterpillars in the presence of beetles. Though it was of no use, but when he showed this research work or project work, he won something. So we find that Richard kept on researching on various topics. Similarly, next year he tried researching on the theory that viceroy butterflies copy monarchs. He puts forward the theory that viceroy butterflies look like monarchs, as monarchs don't taste good to birds, whereas viceroys do taste good to birds. So the viceroy butterflies would make themselves appear as monarchs so that they can save themselves from being eaten by birds. Similarly, his next project was basically on the topic, would a bird eat monarchs or not? He found out that sterling bird would prefer eating a monarch. Later, research showed that the viceroys copied the monarchs. This project won him the first division in zoology department and the third overall position in the country science fair. During his second year of high school, Richard started a research from which he found about an unknown insect hormone that later helped him in his new theory about the life of cells. One day he tried to find the answer to a question that what is the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots on a monarch pupa? Most of the people said that the spots made it look attractive and decorative, but Dr. Frederick did not believe this. Then, to find the answer, Richard and a full team of excellent science students formed a group and made a device that proved that these spots produced a hormone necessary for the full development of a butterfly from pupa. Thus Richard won first prize at the country fair exhibition and got direct entry to the International Science and Engineering Fair. There his project won third prize for zoology. He also got chance to work at the entomology lab of the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. He also got chance to work in Army lab during the summer. In the senior year, he grew cells from a monarch's wings and showed that cells divide and develop into normal butterfly only if they were given the hormone from the gold spots. For that, he won first prize for zoology at the international fair. Then he spent his time doing research work at the Army lab and lab of US Department of Agriculture. Then, after completing his course in Harvard University, he went back to the lab of Department of Agriculture and did more research on the hormone from the gold spots. He found out the hormone's chemical structure. After doing so many research for 1.5 years, he did not get excited like some other scientists, but rather, the more he researched, more questions he found, thus giving him more urge to continue his experiment. His research on the chemical structure of the hormones from gold spots solved one of the puzzles of biology, that is, how cells read the blueprint of its DNA. He found that DNA is the nucleus of a cell that controls heredity. Therefore, it determines the form and function of a cell. Hence, DNA is the blueprint of life. Then Richard and his roommate James R. Wong made drawings, plastic models for this theory, and they even wrote a thesis which explained the process. Richard graduated from Harvard University with honors and stood second in the class consisting of 1,510 students. He then became graduate student researcher and did practical experiments to test his theory. It was expected that if the theory proved right, then new ideas for preventing certain types of cancer and other diseases could be made. So his research on monarch pupa led him to the theory about cell life. Though he had deep interest in science, but he was also good at other things like he was a debate champion, great public speaker, good boat racer, all-round expert in outdoor sports, and an expert photographer. As he was good in studies, he focused on debating. He used to admire his social studies teacher named Mr. Richard A. Wellherer, as he thought that his teacher was the right man, as he was the one who used to open his mind to new ideas. His social studies teacher was also impressed that how Richard could give an extra 3 to 4 hours of effort at night for the debate after working and researching for the whole day. He even said that Richard was competitive. That does not mean he wanted to get prizes. Rather, he wanted to be the best at whatever he did. And that's the characteristic of a good scientist. Then at the end, we find that the writer says that the time Richard's mother got him the book, his life changed. It was the book that opened a world of science for him and brought out the scientific curiosity present within him. So guys, that's all for today's video. I hope you all have understood the chapter well. If you have any queries related to the chapter, do write in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, do subscribe it and hit the bell icon for further notification. Thank you.